Here's a question that might seem strange at first. How does a government convince millions of people that obeying it is the same as obeying God? It's exactly what the Islamic Republic of Iran claims, and it has a very specific theological argument to back it up, one that's over 1,000 years in the making. In our last video, we looked at the fundamental divide between Sunni and Shia Islam. One of the sharpest differences was in religious authority. Sunni Islam is decentralized. Shia Islam has a centralized hierarchical clergy. For more on that, check out our last video on the origins of the Sunni-Shia split. Today, we're tracing how the core beliefs of Twelver Shi'ism, the largest branch of Shia Islam, became the theological foundation for the legitimacy of the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Sunni-Shia split started as a dispute over who should lead the Muslim community after the Prophet Muhammad's death in 632 CE. For Shia Muslims, leadership was never up for election. It was divinely appointed. God chose Ali, the Prophet's cousin and son-in-law, and then 11 more leaders from his lineage. These are the 12 Imams who lived from the 7th to the 9th centuries. That's where the name Twelver Shi'ism comes from. The 12th Imam, Muhammad al-Mahdi, never openly ruled. In 874 CE, he went into what is called the occultation. He disappeared from public life to escape persecution by the Abbasid caliphs in Baghdad. According to Shia belief, he is still alive, in hiding, and will only return at the end of times. Their legitimate, divinely guided leader was gone. So now what? For about 70 years, 4 men served as intermediaries, the 4 deputies, passing guidance between the hidden imam and the community. But in 941 CE, the 4th deputy died, and a letter attributed to the imam arrived with a clear message. No further deputies would be appointed. The community was told to seek guidance from the narrators of tradition, the recorded sayings and judgments of the Prophet and the 12 imams. This period is known as the Major Occultation, and it is still ongoing today. With no deputies and no direct line to the imam, the community turned to its scholars. At first, they were essentially archivists, preserving the tradition through writing and teaching. But in the 11th century, a group of rationalist scholars made a bolder claim. New problems require new answers, reached through intellectual reasoning, grounded in tradition. From this, Twelver Shia scholars transformed from archivists into active legal authorities. But one limit remained firm. Only the hidden imam had the right to govern or lead wars. Scholars were advisors, not rulers. That was about to change. In the 13th century, a jurist named al-Muhaqqiq al-Hilli introduced a concept that would eventually reshape the entire political order of Iran: general deputyship. His argument: since the imam is in occultation, qualified scholars as a group serve as his standing representatives, his general deputies. Not one person, the entire scholarly class, collectively. The clergy could now collect religious taxes and represent the imam as leaders of the Muslim community. This idea became the cornerstone of the political legitimacy of today's Iranian regime. In 1501, the Safavid dynasty founded a new empire in what is now Iran and made a decision that would reshape the entire region. They declared Twelver Shia Islam the official state religion. Before this, Persia was largely Sunni. The Safavid kings needed religious legitimacy. They needed the clergy to tell the people their rule was Islamically valid. But Persia had very few qualified Shia scholars, so they recruited clerics from Arab lands, particularly from Lebanon and southern Iraq, offering land, income, and royal patronage. Al-Muhaqqiq al-Karaki from Lebanon provided the theological solution. A senior cleric, as the imam's general deputy, could delegate political authority to a king, making royal rule conditionally legitimate in the name of the imam. By the 19th century, clerical authority had been formalized into a full institution, the Marja al-Taqlid, the source of emulation. A Marja is the highest rank a cleric can achieve, and every Shia Muslim was expected to choose one living Marja and follow his rulings in all matters of religious life. The result was a clerical hierarchy with its own tax revenues, its own seminaries, and direct authority over millions of followers. In 1925, Reza Shah founded the Pahlavi Dynasty with a clear vision: a modern, secular, Western-style Iran. He replaced Islamic law with a European-style legal code, moved to control the seminaries, and even banned traditional clerical dress. His son, Mohammad Reza Shah, pushed further. The White Revolution of 1963 threatened the vast landholdings of religious endowments, introduced women's suffrage, and replaced Islamic education with a modern curriculum. This is the moment one cleric stepped into the spotlight: Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. He publicly denounced the reforms and the Shah's dependence on American influence. He was arrested, then exiled in 1964. In exile in Iraq, Khomeini pushed the 13th century concept of general deputyship to its absolute extreme. His argument was simple and radical. If the clergy are the general deputies of the imam, why shouldn't they actually rule? He called this wilayat al-faqih, the guardianship of the Islamic jurist. In his framework, the most qualified jurist doesn't just interpret law. He holds the same comprehensive authority as the prophet and the imams, the full right and duty to govern a state. The original general deputyship was collective. Authority belonged to the scholarly class as a whole. Khomeini concentrated that authority into a single supreme jurist. Many senior Shia scholars rejected this outright. Grand Ayatollah Khomeini, one of the most respected Marjas of the 20th century, argued that political governance was beyond the scope of clerical authority. Today, Grand Ayatollah Sistani in Iraq, the most widely followed Shia cleric in the world, maintains that same position. When the 1979 revolution toppled the Shah, Khomeini returned to Iran and became the first supreme leader of the Islamic Republic. After his death in 1989, he was succeeded by Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Following Khamenei's assassination in February 2026, his son, Mojtaba Khamenei, became the new supreme leader. So here's the payoff. Today, the Islamic Republic's claim to legitimacy rests on this entire chain. When the supreme leader speaks, his supporters don't see a politician. They see the general deputy of the 12th Imam. If you want the full background on the Sunni-Shia split, we covered that in our last video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.